At the beginning of episode 5 of the Kingdom of Ruin, we are shown Adonis, who is about to start his. The complete memory was being transferred inside that seat, and then that clip. Thinks about and says, "I love you, Chloe, but I am really sorry. I can't revive you again in this useless world. There is no place for you in this world, nor is there any place for you in the hearts of these witches. I can't see you traveling that way again." And then he remembers that. What wonderful moments he had with Chloe. And then we are shown that he suddenly casts a memory replacement spell. And on seeing this, Madame Ophelia gets completely shocked and says, "Hey Adonis. Have you replaced your memory? But by now it's too late." The seed blooms completely and comes out from there Doroka. Seeing Doroka, all the witches present there get shocked, and then Doroka was a brain falls on Adona's lap and she opens her eyes. Looks at Adonis. She could not understand how she came here in Lune Milia because there was an end memory there, it was shorted. But then her attention went towards herself and she was not wearing anything. Seeing this, she feels very embarrassed and goes and sits far away. But then Adonis goes to her and gives her a cloth and says that you should not let this cloth leave, wear it. And by the way, you saved me in the Radia Empire. So now I have also saved your life here, so right now we are both even. But then Madame Ophelia asks from behind, "What will happen to Chloe now? We have given you all our magical power so that you can bring Chloe back. But you have betrayed us. How can you do this? We revived you and I healed you, but you still betrayed me." And the other witches on the same side said, "What were you expecting from this, madam? Ultimately it is a human child. It has added its Madame Chloe to Doroka." And upon hearing this, Madame Ophelia asks Doroka, "So Doroka, did you give him anything? Have you told me?" And then the Adonis there says, "Keep your mouth shut," which is what I wrote. I did not invite him here, it was entirely my own decision. And after hearing all this, Madame Ophelia laughs a lot and says, "Why are you being so arrogant? Yes. You're the only one. She must be human." And then she was about to cast her magic. But then suddenly a strange phenomenon starts happening all around, and whatever is happening on that side. He laughs and says, "Maybe you don't know, but I am a long-term prisoner." And he takes out a chip from his body and shows that chip. And this chip was basically put inside him by the same National Security Bureau, and he breaks the chip there and throws it back. He says that I will hunt humans alone. But, because of that broken chip, a huge explosion occurs there. And in the very next scene we are shown that because of this explosion, the last tree of life, from which witches could be born, catches fire. Madame Ophelia cannot believe this. But then something else happens, and that was a human's voice, and that voice says that I still can't believe that there are still so many witches. And there is no one else there except him wearing a special spacesuit. Yamato arrives, who was the director of NSB. And in the next moment all the forces present there get directly teleported with their qualities and differently with the weapon. And all these people have been able to teleport here because of that same chip of Adonis. And then Yamato says that now the time has come that I am you and finish off these witches finally. But then Adonis says, "Why are you talking so rudely? You probably forgot that I invited you here, and finally this is your graveyard, it is about to be made." And on the same side we are shown that the water botcha says, "Madame Ophelia, don't worry. I cast my quick magic spell," and then she casts her water magic spell, "So may it rain there and the fire in my feet will be extinguished." But just as the spell was about to be activated, a soldier comes from behind and kills him in one blow. And he cuts off that witch's neck. And after seeing this, all the witches present there cast their magic. And we make our armor very strong and get ready to fight them. And Yamato, who was on the same side, suddenly comes to attack Adonis from above. But Adonis uses his returning magic on him and takes out the gun that was on him. He takes it and keeps firing at him continuously with his gun. Due to continuous firing, the damage level of Yamato's suit would have increased significantly. But then Doroka comes from behind and asks Adonis to stop right there. And on that side we are shown that the witches start casting their magical powers and there. But she turns all the soldiers into a crystal, and the next moment, another one. The witch uses her poison and venom magic, and with the help of the snake bud she kills all the enemies. The remaining soldiers were killed right there. And Madame Ophelia uses her nature magic for him, and all the soldiers present there are absolutely start floating in the air. They fire at Ophelia, but not a single bullet hits her. And then Ophelia brings them all together into air, and she crushes them all with hand gestures. Ophelia thinks they may have won, but a witch appears right in the middle. It gets cut and falls off, and as Ophelia turns that way, she sees that another squad arrives there, and this was Squad 2, which had been successfully teleported to this place, and then Ophelia gets stressed. And we are shown that this whole thing was being telecast live. Me in this video was playing in front of Theta. Yes, the same director of the National Science Agency, and his condition is very bad right now. Because that day she was directly exposed to that magic suppression machine. She had come in contact and she was sitting there with the person from National Authority Bureau. The director had heard a lot and says how so many witches are still alive. Give me the answer. And then Theta said that, sir, we have made a space dumping prototype. All these witches got attached to it and went into outer space. And after hearing this he says, okay, so this means these people have used our technology to go into space and built their own colony. And then he yells even more and says, why didn't you stop this from happening? This was your job, but you failed in this as well, and this thing is your life cost is going to do. But then there was another guy there who was sitting absolutely chilled. He says, don't shout so much, and anyway, our men have reached there to hunt the witches, and this man is no one else but of the National Intelligence Agency. The director was Shiraj Sagi, and after that we are shown a little past scene where we are shown Yuki. Yuki's condition was very critical and he was put inside a foot chamber. It was kept closed, and the Yamato on the same side. He was not able to see his sister in this condition at all. And he tells Theta that you don't know, but my sister was very special to me. She was with me all the time. Even when I joined this bureau, she joined this bureau with me. Yamato says that you had said that if I leave everything to you then it will be fine. But what is happening? And then we are shown the present scene where Yamato says that all this has happened because of you, Adonis. I'm going to finish you off. And then he activates the 500% efficiency of his suit. The one who was there fires at him, but Yamato hits him right away. He crosses over and punches Adonis hard on the face, and then the whole thing starts connecting to the power. He uses one of his special battle moves on him. He thinks about his sister and remembers how he had promised his sister that she will be the one to finally marry her. And such a place will find a quiet place where both of them can rest together. And then he activates a special anti-witch battle and hits one with his sword. The one who was this, he torches him. But as soon as the wave touched all the witches there, they moved away from the middle were living. Even, who was Madame Ophelia, tries to stop him. But in the very next moment Madame Ophelia moves away from the middle. And then we see that Doroka is completely shocked after seeing all this. But in the next moment blood starts coming out of her mouth and Doroka also gets separated from the middle. But then we are shown that she sits right in front of her and Anna is behind her, and Anna says, Doroka, you don't worry. I have cancelled your death with my duplication magic. And hearing this Doroka says, but Anna. And then Anna says, Doroka, I love you and thank you for everything. And then Anna also splits right in the middle. And because of this attack the connection here with the ground also gets broken. Doroka cries a lot. There is literally blood like a lake of theirs had been formed. Doroka asks to stop everything, but at the same time a fight breaks out between Adonis and Yamato. It was continuation. Adonis wears an armor and beats Yamato to a pulp. Evan puts his hand right into Yamato's chest, but still Yamato was very strong. Somehow he manages to catch hold of Adona's hand, regenerates his broken sword and deals a massive strike to Adonis. Whatever on that side. The rest of them all motivate Adonis a lot. Even after being injured, Madame Ophelia was still very worried. She was unable to tolerate the fact that this tree was gone and now there were witches will never get born. This has only one meaning. Witch accidents have happened. The 1 or 2 witches who were there were still continuously shouting to support Adonis. But then a soldier comes there and kills her right there and later. Many more soldiers come there and keep firing on them continuously. And on that side Yamato uses the 100% potential of his suit. A very huge sword comes there. The one who was Adonis doesn't kill him but he can't even touch him. And then Yamato draws his sword through the middle of that thread and pierces Adonis' body, puts it through. The one who was Adonis goes very far away and falls down. His condition becomes absolutely critical. But even when Yamato thinks he has almost won, Adonis loses his, but casts odd magic again with the magical pen. And this was the magic Caliburn and a huge sword comes from above. And he falls down immediately and Yamato's hand gets separated from the middle. Yamato uses the power of his suit to jam his hand to stop the bleeding. But on the same side we are shown the condition of Adonis. It gets much worse. And then on the other side the soldiers also attacked the 1 or 2 witches that were left. There was a taunt and then the Yamato comes forward with his sword and says, "That you were very dangerous but that was it and I am one of these witches. I am going to finish you off as well," and he immediately moves forward and raises his sword. And then we see in the scene that the headquarters is there in the bottom. There was a commotion among all the people there because the connection had been broken. Also no information is available. But suddenly the connection is revived and we are shown on camera to Yamato. Yamato's face was completely covered in blood. It was as a stream of blood was flowing from the middle. But still he takes the connection and says that he is its. And I want to inform everyone that we have won. We have destroyed all the witches on the surface of the moon. And with this the episode ends. But guys, do you really think that Yamato has destroyed everyone? Whether the witch lost so quickly is something we will get to know in the next episode. So definitely subscribe or follow and share the video. See you in the next episode.